I've spent almost $60,000 renovating this house behind me, and we're not even done yet. So today I'm sharing 10 things I've learned about the house flipping business that you've got to look out for. The first thing on our list is you don't want to forget about the trash.
Attention, please.
We did a crazy amount of demolition in this house, and I seriously underestimated how many of these giant dumpsters we were gonna need. This dumpster is a 20-yarder and it cost me $345 for a week. And we've gone through probably 4 or 5 of these already. So you do the math. So tip number 1, don't underestimate your dumpster bill. Shout out to Propstream for the hard hat. Can I make it? The next thing you want to look out for is being very clear about your labor estimates and your material estimates. So I'm going to walk you guys in here in a moment, and my drywallers are actually finishing up today. With this drywall job, my drywaller gives me an estimate for labor and I pay that directly to him. But then he also works up an invoice at the local drywall supply of all the materials he's going to need, and he gives that to me as well. So I've got the labor charge that goes directly to him, and then I pay for the materials directly from the drywall supply. People do it differently. That's the way I have it set up, but you want to make sure that it's clear. You never want to get a labor only charge and think that includes materials, because it's going to blow your budget when you have to pay for all of the materials in addition to that. Let's go see what they're doing. ¿Cómo estás? So my favorite thing about this property is that there's this detached garage in the back that we have converted to be an Airbnb. And yes, we did it legally with all of the correct permits and stuff. So come on inside and I'll tell you a few things we learned from doing this rehab specifically. Next up on the list, and probably the rehab question I get the most, is not understanding how to correctly estimate different parts of your rehab budget. Typically with any project, I split my contractors up into specialists and into installers. Specialists usually charge by the unit. So my tile guy, he's a specialist and he charges per square foot. My carpenter, who does all of my trim work, he's a specialist and he charges per linear foot. And then I also have an installer, and she charges by the day. So she's gonna come in and install the cabinets, the countertops, the shelves, and the appliances. Regardless of which type of contractor you have, understanding how they charge is gonna help you better estimate your rehab costs. For example, let's say that I have 300 square feet here and my tile guy charges me $1.50 for the labor to do the install. When I multiply those two together, that tells me that this is gonna be a $450 labor charge. And my box of tile here says right here that it covers 12 square feet. So if I need 300 square feet and each box covers 12, I'm gonna need about 25 boxes. Let's say the boxes are $5 each. Then I'm gonna spend $125 in terms of the actual tile. This is how you can get a very rough but pretty accurate rehab estimate as you go through line by line. How much tile do I think I'm gonna need? How much does my tile guy charge per square foot? Put them together and I've got a rough estimate. This is also gonna help you identify the contractors you don't wanna work with because they're charging you some exorbitant amount. If you get 3 quotes and 2 of them are charging $1.50 or $1.60 per square foot and the other guy's charging you $3.50 per square foot, you gotta ask yourself 2 things. Is he just trying to rip me off? Maybe. Or is he just so amazing at doing tile work that his tile job is gonna be so much better than the 150 guys? You have to answer that question for yourself, but at least you know to ask it. What's up, bro?
Oh, what's going on?
Nothing much. We're just in here checking on a few things and filming. Come on in. Them new boots? Christmas? Okay, I see you.
Got the fresh one.
I see you.
That's right. Yeah. All right.
Should we good?
Yeah, we good. We good.
All right, cool.
I guess take one of these out, and we can We just use them for the next one.
Okay, yeah, we'll throw it over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of this and all this, and I still gotta go there and write down the material list and all that.
Okay.
And I know some.
Okay, yeah, let me know later today. So I'm trying to finalize everything. Alex is starting over at today, so I want to get you over there too, so that y'all could kind of be finishing at the same time, and then we'll get the drywallers over.
Okay.
I'm about to get Mariel back in here for a few touch-up things, and then we'll start furnishing tomorrow. So next up on our list is something that I made a mistake with on this project, and that's setting up, my mask is fogging up my glasses, but that's how you set up your payments. So typically I do 50% of labor up front, and I provide the materials, and then 50% of labor when the project is done. But what I'm changing to doing is doing 45% of labor up front, 45% of labor once the majority is done, once they say they're done, and then I will come and do 10%, the final 10% after I do a final punch list. The reason is because there's little things like this, where the tile guy got grout onto the outlet and that needs to be cleaned up. So when I did the 50% up front and then he told me he was done, he gets the last 50%. I wouldn't hold back that last 50% for this. But if I was doing 45, 45, 10, I would hold back the last 10% for something like this. I've got the same issue with touch-ups for my painters. So as you can see right here, the painters painted, but they left a little room around this outlet box, which is typical because usually the plate's gonna cover it, but there's a gap between where the plate covers and where the paint is. And so this plate needs to be taken off by the painter and they need to come back and touch it up. Now I have a really good relationship with my contractors, and so everyone will come back even though they've already been fully paid and go ahead and fix these things up, mainly because they want to continue working with me and be able to get the next job. But in the future, having just that little 10% for the final punch list is gonna give me assurance that they'll come back and get it done, and it's gonna let them know that the little things like this mean that the project is not done yet. Hey Rigo.
Hey Lily, sorry I seen your call and your message.
No worries, how you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm actually on my way home back from out of town. I left my notebook at home. I wrote it down. And I'll send it to you. I should be home probably like at 2.
All right, thanks man. How long you been doing this?
21 years.
How'd you get started?
I do it all myself now.
Yeah, how'd you get started though?
How'd I get started?
Thank you.
Friend.
Yeah, just got you into it?
Do what?
Just got you into it?
Yeah.
So tell me what you think of these. One of my big concerns is the areas like this are kind of wavy, and the smell.
The smell, definitely. I really don't smell as bad as some of them smell.
No, it's not as bad as it used to be.
I mean, I've smelled some bad ones.
I believe
Wavy,
you.
that should stand out.
Yeah.
That's like back here. It's not really, I mean, there's a little bit here too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad enough, but it is flat.
And this includes all materials and labor?
Yep.
And how many coats of finish?
Stain and 2 coats of poly.
2 coats of poly. All right. Any warning signs for me? Any difficulty? This a run-of-the-mill job for you?
I assume you're flipping it?
We'll keep it as a rental, but we go to flip grade.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, generally I recommend doing like provincial, medium brown.
Mm-hmm.
So,
just for like the coloring.
I mean, if you got pet stains, it blends the pet stains the best. So
Yeah.
it does.
All right. I appreciate you stopping by. I apologize for being late.
Hey, no problem. Well, I just started to stress out. I mean, I gotta leave now.
Yeah, I understand.
11:30, but if people they forget about it or.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming back.
All right. Well,
I'll give you a shout. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a good quote. He quoted $12.75. I've got a quote for $8.45, and I've got a quote for. Let me see. It came in last night. So this is like. This is an interesting situation. $12.75, $8.45, $39.92. And these are all guys that all they do is wood flooring. So sometimes when you have like a drastic difference in quotes, it's because you're working with like a general guy versus a specialist. So like drywall, I can get somebody cheap for drywall that won't do a great job. Or like Chewy, who all he does all day, every day is drywall, he's gonna be much more expensive, but it's because he's a specialist, he's gonna do a great job. These three guys, they're all wood floor refinishers, like that's all they do. So why are their quotes so different? This includes a third coat of finish, but that third quote is costing me $637. So that's not making up for, it's not making up for all of the difference, you know? I don't know, I think one thing I'm gonna do is just like call references and check their reviews and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really interesting. Really interesting. All right, next up, let me show you guys what we got going over here. The next thing you want to make sure you take care of is understanding and defining timelines with your contractors. So there needs to be a set start and set end date, which is something that I'm getting better at. But some people will have a punishment charge for projects that are going long. I don't personally do this because I don't think that everything is in the control of the contractor themselves. There could be material delays. Something could just take longer to do right, and you don't want them to rush and do it wrong just so that they end on the right date or they lose some of their pay. But you do want to set clear expectations about when the project should start and finish. That way you can schedule out the contractors after that. I found that if I don't know exactly when one project is going to end, then it makes it harder to schedule that next guy and the next guy and the next guy. And what happens is you get gaps where, oh, I want this drywaller, but I didn't schedule him correctly. And so he's a week or 2 weeks out, and now nothing can happen on my job site for 2 weeks while we wait for the drywaller to be available. Or the main drywaller I want to go with isn't available, so I've got to go with the second guy who's not going to do as good of a job. Next on our list is rehabbing to the level that's necessary. You don't want to over or under rehab. And the main thing I've been trying not to over or under rehab with this project is these kitchen cabinets. So I know I'm going to get brand new countertops. And one thing about when you get something brand new is if the thing next to it isn't brand new, that thing is going to look super bad. These cabinets are gonna look really dingy next to brand new countertops. And so I could under rehab and keep the cabinets and just try to clean them up and refinish them and paint them. But it's not gonna be what it needs to be for me to get that ARV value on the back end for this house to be worth what I want it to be worth. But on the flip side, I could get brand new custom cabinets for about $3,500. But this is gonna be a rental property. Do I really need an entire custom kitchen, especially for a kitchen this small? So what I think we're gonna do is we're just gonna get stock cabinets from one of the big box stores and have my installer come in and put those new cabinets in. And then we'll also get new countertops. Hopefully that strikes the right balance, but being able to think about, am I underdoing it or am I overdoing it, is a constant question you want to ask when doing rehabs like this.
Remember how I said it's a good idea to know the general price per unit for jobs? Well, this guy here seems super cool and super competent, but he ended up quoting me about $5 per square foot for a vinyl flooring installation. 3 other contractors I spoke to all said that $1.50 to $2 is typical. And when I asked him why his quote came in at $5, he ghosted me.
The next thing I want you to keep in mind is to be on site as often as you can. This was the first place we were this morning, and now we're coming back. 1, because I had to meet a contractor who wasn't available this morning, but 2, because it's good to show up to your job site as often as you can. Now, if this isn't your full-time thing, I understand you may not be able to pop in multiple times a day, but I read in a book somewhere, I don't remember which book it was, but they said, even if you like work a full-time job and you're gonna stop by every day on your lunch break, don't take lunch at the same time every day, because then your contractors will know the boss comes by at 12:15, let's make sure we're working at 12:15. Maybe take an early lunch some days, maybe take a late lunch some days. Just mix it up so your contractors never know when you're gonna be there, meaning they're more likely to be doing the right thing at all times. So having a presence is gonna keep your contractors working, but also means that if they have questions, when you're there, it just makes it easier for them to ask you and keep you involved in what's going on. So drywall should be very close to being done, and we're also going to meet our HVAC guy so we can talk about some of the ducts in the crawl space that possibly need some work. So let's go. The neighbors are cool. I'm not just walking through random people's yards. I know them. That's another tip. When you are rehabbing, try to meet one of the neighbors and exchange contact information, because the other day there was a tree branch that fell and was sitting on one of our wires, and he took a picture of it and texted it to me, and that's how I got the tree guy over here to get it off. So making a relationship with the neighbors is really good. There's only 2 here right now, so hold on. There's the Spectrum Pearly White. That's the picture I just sent you. Yeah, they're both pretty much full. So, it's always something. But everything I do wrong, I tell you guys, so hopefully you won't do it wrong. So, keep track of your materials. This is something I've gotten better at. But when this house, the interior got painted, I didn't get enough paint, which is fine. So my contractor let me know, hey, I need some more. So I just ordered some more and they picked it up. Those were 2 different paint colors. So now we have a line where the shades of white are slightly different. And it's because I didn't write down the exact paint color the first time. And you know, there's like a million different whites. So it was probably like pearly white versus cloudy white or something like that. And so now the vast majority of this house is painted with a paint color that I don't know what the color is exactly. So they're gonna come do their patch ups, like they have no problem with that, but they can't do it with the wrong paint color. So now I gotta think of something, and I don't want them to repaint the entire house. Write down your paints. In fact, what I'm doing now is there will just be one white. We will use the same shade of white in every property from here on out. We won't have to think about it anymore. And that way, if there's any leftover, it just gets used at the next one. It's just, I'm learning this the hard way. Don't do this. Write your stuff down. Stick to one. Tile guy?
Yeah.
Can you text me his number?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for somebody.
I guess.
Thanks, man. Ask your contractors for their recommendations for other contractors. So the next thing I want you guys to do is to always ask for feedback. Always ask your contractors what they think of the project. Do they see any potential issues with your plan? And I do this because I'm not an expert. Like if I was a tile expert, I would do the tile. If I was a wood floor expert, I would do the wood floors myself. So asking your contractors is gonna help you learn what things you need to look out for and what's going on. It's also gonna let them know that you value their opinion, so that if something goes wrong during the project, they're not gonna be afraid to come tell you about it. It also helps because it might show you how knowledgeable they are about the project. So all in all, just be an open book, be a student of the game, and try to learn as much as you can from each person who comes to the project. Even if at the end of the day, it's not gonna work out with that contractor, you still wanna take that as a learning opportunity. The other thing I want you guys to remember is that cheaper is not always better. I mean that in terms of the contractor that you hire. Hiring the cheap guy, oh wait, this is not a cheap guy calling, this is Marquise. What's up, Marquise?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. I just wanted to see if you were still on for 1 or if earlier worked better for you.
Probably 1 o'clock I'll be able to be there.
All right, cool. I'm heading to pick up an appliance, but I should be able to be there around 1. If I'm like 5 or 10 minutes late, I'll let you know.
Okay, that's fine.
And we're going to,
Uh-huh.
all right, see you there. Thanks, man. All right, so cheap guy is not always the best guy, because the cheap guy is cheap for a reason. So you're usually going to be missing out on something in terms of quality of work, in terms of how long it takes them to get it done, in terms of how well they follow instructions, in terms of how well they communicate with you. Something's got to give. Cheaper isn't always better in terms of materials as well. Like for that Airbnb studio, we're going to be using a luxury vinyl plank that costs $2.99 per square foot. And that's relatively high. I could get a similar flooring that's like $1.09 per square foot, which would be a lot cheaper in terms of materials. But that flooring would fail and scratch and start to buckle a lot sooner than the one that's more expensive. So in the long run, replacing that cheaper flooring much more often is probably going to be more expensive than just getting the higher quality flooring in the beginning. So I know it's hard to resist, but don't just be attracted to the cheaper materials or the cheaper contractor just because they're cheap. So I found this guy on Facebook Marketplace selling laundry appliances, washer dryer sets. And I don't know how sketch it is, but apparently he has like a warehouse or a shop or something with like multiple different sets and stuff. So if we can go get sets from there cheaper than Han, and their quality, not just cheap, but then that would be good. But he does say that they all come with warranty. Also, this contractor, there was another contractor supposed to meet us at the house who stood us up. So,
He didn't call or?
no, he didn't text nothing. So pro tip, get multiple quotes.
Absolutely.
Another mini tip I have for you guys is always walk in knowing your walkaway price. Like, if I can get it under this, I'll buy it. And if I can't, I'll walk away, because it's just gonna make you a stronger negotiator and it's gonna help you stick to your budget. Hello.
How are you?
Good, I'm here for Adam.
Yes.
Is that you?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
Lili, nice to meet you. We were
What's-
talking on Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
This is my brother.
Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you.
All right.
What were you looking for?
I'm looking for some appliances. We are renovators, that's why we're filming. We have a
Oh, yeah.
YouTube channel,
Go
if
ahead.
you don't mind.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'm looking mainly for stackable units.
Okay.
I need at least one stackable unit, and I need another set of units, like a pair that could also be side by side. All right, so if this one's $675 and that one is $675, that's $1,350. I want to get out of here for like, what's my walkaway price? Like $1,200. Do a military discount?
And what do you get?
I'll get a stackable
Okay.
in this set.
12.
$1,275.
Yeah. I could probably do 12.25.
Can you do 12 even?
25.
What if I get something else? Drop me to $1,200 for this, and then I'll take something else off your hands.
Okay. What do you want?
Let's see. How much of a difference between this and that set in terms of
Well, this will last
durability?
you 30 years, 40 years.
How long will that last me?
15.
I don't need 30 years.
Yeah.
Somebody else will be in charge of this business
Yeah.
in 30 years. Can you get me out the door for $1,200 if I promise to be back on the 5th and buy a bunch more from you?
You have cash, right?
No, but I can bring you cash in a couple hours.
How much is total for him?
I think we're at $1,275.
12.75. Yeah, let me talk to the boss.
That's hilarious. That is so funny. $1,200 is my walkaway price.
We're all good.
All right, cool. Gang, gang. I'm glad we listened to that book. Never Split the Difference. That was a good one. All right, I'm really happy about that. So why was $1,200 my walkaway price? So I have like this cost estimator tool / database, and I know that the front load washers brand new, well, front load washer dryer, the set brand new that I get from this other outlet costs $679 each, right? So that's $1,358 each set times 2. That would be $2,716 if I was to get those brand new. And that doesn't mean I'm always gonna go there and buy them. It's in my head of like, okay, what is that price? And so $1,200, I don't know, I just came up with that. Like, I was just like, $2,700, you know, at least half of that, $1,200. And because I used that $2,700 while budgeting, now we're under budget by $1,500, right? Like we just saved $1,500 off the budget. So I try to use like the most expensive option for the budget and then try to get under that so that I know anything I get under is gonna be a win. Could I come by this evening?
What time?
Let's say 3:30.
Yep, that'll be fine.
All right, cool. I will, I'll meet you there. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
See ya.
See ya, bye.
Bye.
So this is another dude who, I hadn't talked to him in a long time, but thankfully he's a good guy because he has like $1,000 worth of my stuff that I already paid for. And I didn't take it because it was before I had my truck. And he was like, I'll just hold on to it for you until you're ready. And he did. He's a good guy. But he's like the guy we just left, but for material. So like when there's returns or like a box of tile gets dropped and some of it gets broken and like Lowe's or Home Depot can't sell it, then they sell it to him and I buy it from him for a discount. So I'm really glad he still has my stuff and he answered my call. Thank goodness. How you doing? How's the foot? I see you out the boot.
Better, yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, actually, I just went in there.
No, it was a wall. So right here, it was a wall, and right here was a wall.
Okay.
It was just this little opening. So I'll have the plumber take everything else off gas. So like the range and everything will be electric, and that'll be the only thing that's gas.
So like that one's newer, but like moving forward with your house is like if you got to do a replacement, you prefer to do electric.
Yeah, I prefer to do electric just because having tenants with gas, it adds another bill.
Yeah.
And it adds danger just with gas leaks, especially like the ranges. You know, if the thing is turned and the gas is coming out on the stove, you know, it's just better to have electric. Yeah. So what you thinking about, man?
So yeah, me and Yarborough was talking about getting a house and then just flipping it. So I guess we're trying to figure out how you find the houses and like how much you need to put down, type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, man? YouTube channel.
Huh?
YouTube channel. Good to see you again.
YouTube channel?
You remember my brother, right? Where do you want me to bring the truck to load everything?
So, let's go see what we got to load and see what we can take.
All right,
you
cool.
Need to take the
Hey guys, we just reached 250,000
that door up right there.
views and 90,000 subscribers. It's lit. All right guys, this has been a super fun video. We're gonna finish packing up all this stuff, dropping stuff off for the rest of the day. Every day is not this busy, but I knew that there will be a ton of golden nuggets to share with you guys, so thanks for hanging around. If you feel like this is something that you want to do, like you want to be involved in renovating properties, but you're not to the stage yet that you can buy them yourself, definitely check out this video right here where I tell you guys about all the side hustles you can do to get involved with a project like this, learn, get your foot in the door to become a full-time investor. Until next time, don't forget to change the color of the like button. Thanks for watching. I mean, that's how I do, but dang. Oh. Oh. Woo. Okay. We did it. Can I make it? Oh!